What's going on, guys? In this video, again with my 2001 Insight, today I'm going to be doing a transmission flush. I guess you can call it a flush. It's really a drain and refill, since I don't have the equipment to do a proper full system flush with the pressurization and whatnot. But this is what I'm going to be using. This is the Honda Genuine. This is the CVT fluid. Now, this stuff is not recommended. It is required. You have to use this stuff. Nothing else will work. So I will link that down below if you need it. I got it off Amazon. They say it's supposed to take 3. I got 4 just in case. 3 quarts. I got 4. So let's get into this. First thing we need to do is I am going to take off the airbox first. So there are 10mm bolts. I've got one right here, and then we follow it around, and we have another one down here that we have to take off, and then I'm going to take off the airbox. So just pop the clips off to the side, and this can just pop up. You don't have to take this completely off, but if you want to, these can come off too, but let me get that. Okay, so I took the initial piece off that was right here, the little intake part of it. It just pops out of here, and you just twist it, it comes out of this portion. And then I got this portion out. There are 2 little clips that look just like this. You just squeeze them together. You can take the one off the bottom and the one off here, and this thing can just come right out. Now you have so much more room for activity in here. And once those 2 pieces are out, we're going to take the airbox out, and in order to do that, right down here we have a bolt right there. That is a 10mm that we need to take out. We already took out the one that was right there, and now we just need to take out the one that is hidden down here. It's right down there, and then this bottom portion of the box can be taken out. Okay, once I did that, I squeezed this clip, moved it off to the side just so I can have more room with this thing attached. And to take this bottom piece off, there are 3 screws. You can see them from the inside where they're located. They're the brass pins right there. There's 3. There's 2 on this side and 1 down there on the bottom. Once you take that out, this whole bottom piece can now be removed. There we go. And now you can come in here, get all this room, and what we're trying to get at is that bolt right there. Once we take that out, that is our fill plug. Now you can skip this step and fill it through this little dipstick here. That's for your transmission fluid. You can also do that without doing any of this, but I'm gonna do it the proper way. Plus I don't have a funnel that small, so I'm just gonna pop it in through there. Okay, so scratch that. That bolt did not want to come out. It was completely seized in there. I got my impact wrench, I got my breaker bar. That thing was not moving. So I put all this stuff back together, and I will just fill it up with the dipstick. So I need to lift up the car, so I'm going to jack it up. I'm going to put both sides on jack stands, because eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I guess it's called burnishing, something you should do after your transmission kind of starts to jerk a little bit when you start to accelerate. That's a problem I'm having. I don't know if that'll fix the problem, but that's just one thing I'm going to do after flushing out some of this fluid. So I'm going to jack it up, and let's get from there. Alright, now that I have it up on jack stands, there you go, wheels are off the ground. We're going to go right under the car. This is the driver's side, and I've got my oil pan right here, and if you look straight up, this little textured piece right here is where you want to go, and right on the side of it, right here, that's what you want to have. This is the bolt that you're going to have to take out. You can see it's square, so you can just get a standard sized, I forgot what the size of that is, but you can get a standard size ratchet wrench, pop it in there, and open it up, and do the best you can to catch it all, because it's like right next to the wheel. So I had to get a breaker bar in order to get this dang thing out, but I did eventually get it out. Okay, maybe pop this thing up for better airflow and let that thing drain. So now that it's come to a drip and as much as it can get out of there, I'm gonna put the plug back in. This is the plug. This part right here is magnetic, so it'll catch any particles. Make sure you clean this thing off nice and well, and then we're gonna pop it back in and tighten it up, and then we are going to add some fluid. Now that everything is drained out, you can get a funnel and put it through the dipstick, or if you are able to get that bolt off, then you can do it that way, since mine's totally seized up. I don't have a funnel that can fit this, but I do have a turkey baster that I use for not turkey stuff. I use it for fluid stuff, and it just barely fits in there. So I'm gonna do that along with the funnel on the inside of here and start filling this up. So to make sure you have the proper amount, because checking from the dipstick isn't gonna do it just from where it's at right now. It's been sitting for a while. So what Honda recommends what you do is well, a mechanic should be doing this on a lift, but at home, this thing should be up on jack stands so the wheels are free in the front, wheels in the back are planted. Get into the car, make sure your e-brake is firmly in place, just in case. And if for some reason this isn't working or you need to tighten it, check out that video. That'll get you where you need to go. So we're going to turn the car on. Okay, now that the car is on, we're gonna put the car into drive. My foot is still on the brake, but all you have to do is take your foot off the brake and the car will start accelerating. Go ahead and let it accelerate, slow it down a little bit, but if you want to, bring it up a little bit to about 40 miles an hour. Slowly step on the brake, and we'll bring it back down to 0. Now you can do this once or twice if you want to. I do it twice just to make sure the fluid is circulating properly. So I let it accelerate by itself. Slowly back down on the brake. There we go. Now I'm gonna pop it into park and turn the car off. Now, within 90 seconds of doing that, you should be checking your fluid, since everything should be running through your system and those are its operating levels. So pop out the dick stick, clean it, pop it back in, take it back out, and check the levels. Do that until it is at the full mark. Alright guys, now for the burnishing procedure. This is for automatic cars, and this will hopefully help any sort of hesitation that you have getting into first gear or first starting off, since this is an automatic. So we have to make sure the car is in park, the car's on, e-brake all the way up, and make sure your car is secured. Either have blocks in the front or the rear. Just make sure your car is not gonna go anywhere, because we're gonna be revving the engine. So, car's in park, e-brake's on, car's on, AC's off. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna put the car into drive. And the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna rev the engine for 3 seconds. Your left foot will be on the brake. You can see it down there maybe. My left foot is on the brake. My right will be on the gas pedal. I'm gonna floor it to the ground for 3 seconds. And once that's done, we're gonna put the car in neutral. You can put your foot off the brake. And now we're just going to rev the engine to about 3,000 RPM for 15 seconds. Basically what this does is it cools down the clutch from what you just did. And that is the burnishing procedure. You can switch it into reverse now and repeat the same steps. we go. Back into neutral, foot off, and we'll accelerate to 3,000. This is supposed to cool down the clutch, so get everything flowing. Okay, so now what you're supposed to do is take a test drive, see if that did anything. You can repeat this step a few times, but really if there's no change, then either this is not your problem, or if you've figured out that it has to be the clutch, then the clutch needs to be replaced. But I'm having issues with bucking and dying, and I'm just going through the works. This is a free thing to do, so there's really no use in not doing this. So I really hope this helped you guys out for the flush and the burnishing procedure, and go ahead and follow along because I'm gonna have many more videos. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram so you can get some behind the scenes stuff that hasn't happened yet and unreleased content that no one else has seen. And if you haven't already, watch that video. And if you watched that video, watch that video. And if you've watched both of those videos already, make sure you subscribe down here. Yeah, watch this stuff. It's awesome. And if you've watched that, and subscribed,